Hey guys, welcome back to Changed TCG Store. Today I have another market watch for you. First, I just wanted to mention that I found out about the Yu-Gi-Oh creator Kazuki Takahashi, being found dead, which is really really sad. Definitely, this game has meant a lot to me ever since I was a kid. I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh back in I guess 2004, 2005, and played it for until like maybe 2007 or 2008, and then just came back in 2019. So super sad news. Kind of a weird situation, they found him floating off the coast in Okinawa, which is really weird. I'm interested to find out more about it and see kind of what happened, but definitely a sketchy situation. But yeah, but I mean, he created Yu-Gi-Oh, which is obviously awesome, and definitely will be remembered. But with that aside, we can go ahead and get into the market watch. I'm sure every channel's probably mentioned that people found him dead, but honestly, it won't affect the game. So I don't think that the game is really going to suffer. But it's just sad regardless. So the first card is Sacred Sword of the Seven Stars, from Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, super rare. So I think it was Ryan that mentioned he wanted to go over this card. Basically, this card, you just banish a level 7 monster from your hand or face up on your side of the field, and then you draw 2 cards. So it's just draw power for level 7s. There's kind of a lot of level 7 hype going around right now. Not a lot, but a little bit. Like a lot of rank 7 cards are getting bought out, especially if they have solo prints. But honestly, I don't think that this card's very good, unless we did get like a level 7 really good archetype. I just don't really see it happening. I just think there's better cards you could play than this. I would rather just play Pot of Desires or something, because you're going, -2 anyways. Not -2, you're trading out 2 for 2. So it's not like you're really plussing cards other than, just be able to filter through your deck, which is, I mean, drawing cards is always good, but I don't know. I just think there's better cards than this. But if you wanted to, I guess, risk it and see if it pans out to be a good card, or at least people think it will be a good card and it'll have like price spikes, you could buy a couple copies if you wanted to. I think it's still, relatively low priced here. So there's not really a whole lot of risk, but there are some other versions. I think there's a reprint super rare as well. Let's see. Yeah, so there's the Megatins, roughly the same price, a little bit cheaper here on 232. And then there's a rare from Maximum Gold, and then just some comments. Honestly, if you were worried about having copies to play with, you might just want to pick up the rares or just get the reprint super rares, but I don't think this card will see play, and I definitely won't be investing my money into it. Next, I wanted to cover Therion King Regulus from Dimension Force. So this card, like right when Dimension Force got released, had been up to like $80 or so, and it's definitely a great card. But it has been calming down in price, to $51, $52 here. And honestly, it might settle a little bit lower towards 40 to 45, especially once we get Power of the Elements out, because once we get Power of the Elements, I kind of think that this deck is not going to be nearly as good. I think Nationals is probably like a week away. So I guess after Nationals, I would expect a lot of these cards to start falling a lot in price, because people at that point have played their Nationals, and they're going to go ahead and get rid of the decks they're using for the most part, and then go ahead and pick up either Splight or Tear Element. Not everybody. Some people still want to play this deck, but I just don't think it's going to, go back up towards 60 anytime soon. Probably hang between 40 and 52, kind of where it's at right now. So I guess we'll look at Lily Borea as well, because I haven't looked at this card in a while. I think Lily Borea was up to 25 right when the set came out, 24, or shortly after the set was released. I mean, obviously here you've got it at 70 on pre-release. That's ridiculous. It bottomed out towards 15 and then went back up towards 28, 30 actually. But now it's cooling off as well. 1250 Probably will go down more, honestly, like same story with the other Therion, Regulus. So next is Psychic in Punisher from Dimension Force as well. This is a card that when it came out was probably like $8. Yeah, $8. I thought it was a good pickup just because I thought this card was really good, and there's not really a whole lot of good level 11 synchro monsters in the game. I mean, I'm sure there are, but this one's one of the better ones you can play right now that's super generic. And I didn't even realize how good this card was until I was trying it out last night on Dueling Book, or not Dueling Book, Dueling Nexus. And I didn't realize that the gaining attack points is for every battle phase. Like it just stays. I thought it would reset back to the 3,500 after the battle phase, but I guess that's not the case because I got the attack of this monster up to like 16,000 in a game last night because I used its effect during my opponent's battle phase, and then again on my battle phase was able to attack for game. So I went ahead and picked one of these up last night. A little bit cheaper than it has been recently. I think it did spike back up towards like 25 after release when people realized this was a pretty decent card. Again, I don't expect this to go up anytime soon. I think it's either going to stay where it's at or go lower. So if you like had like extra copies and you were debating on whether to hold or sell, I would probably sell it at this point. I would be looking to like hold on to maybe a couple of these, but I just don't think it's worth it. I think Splite and Tearlament are going to be good for a really long time. Just kind of depends on the ban list as well. But I mean, we're going to get more support for Tearlaments later in the year in Darkwing Blast. And I don't know. I think they're just going to rule the format for a while. Even Exo Sisters, I feel like might pop up as well, but I don't know. I think Despia might get kind of phased out though, but I guess there has been more branded support announced. So we'll have to see if that's any good. I imagine it probably will be. Okay, next is Baguska. This is the ultra rare print from Battles of Legend, Relentless Revenge. It also has an advent calendar ultra rare as well, but they're roughly the same price. But this is the best selling copy, so I just figured I'd pull this one up. It's been kind of trending up in price since March. I believe I bought a few of these like for $1.50 or $2 somewhere in there. It was $1.50 back in March, the end of March, and then now it's trending up towards $3. That is $1 shipping. It does go to $3.30 pretty quickly here, and then $4 by the end of the first page. I would make sure that you don't need to necessarily invest in this card, but I think this is a great card to just have like one copy of in your binder to play, just because it does come up sometimes. It's a pretty good rank 4, and it's I guess my favorite use for this card is if, let's say you were playing like Tearlaments or something and you just got hand trapped to hell and all you could get was 2 level 4s on board. Like you can make this and kind of stall and see if you can get to more resources for your next turn or a couple of turns. So I think it's pretty good for that. It's really good in decks like Trap Tricks, where you kind of need some time to set up your board. And by time, I mean like a couple of turns, because once you get set up, like it's pretty hard to stop that deck just because you're able to float through so many resources. But they can struggle, like if they're going first or second, like that first turn, they kind of can get shut down, or they can't get enough interruptions like on the board. And this is just something that helps you stall. So any decks where you need to stall and get, have some setup, this card can be pretty useful. But you just never know, like when this card will, start seeing play again. Next is number 52, Diamond Crab King from Wing Raiders. This is a secret rare. You don't necessarily need to invest in this card. I do personally have one copy just because I think it looks great, and I do like having number monsters. I try to pick them up whenever I don't necessarily go out of my way to get them, but if someone at locals has them, I just pick them up. But this card has had crazy price swings in the past, not this past year, but I think it was a couple of years ago. This card I think it was right when Zeus came out, maybe. This card like had spiked up towards like 15 to 20 bucks. And the only reprint it has is a manga promotional card, and it's an ultra rare. which is also like $5 or $6. But right now, these secret rares are going for $3 for first edition, and kind of bottom out here towards $3 or $4. But I'm not going to say to invest in this card. It's kind of like if you want to type situation. I don't think it's going to go down in value per se, but I don't really see it going up in value anytime soon. But definitely a cool looking card to have. Okay, next, so someone asked me about OTS pack 18, I think yesterday or sometime this last week, and they were wondering if I thought the prices would continue to go down from where they're at now. And if you look through this OTS pack, it's been a while since I've seen an OTS pack with all of the ultimate rares being under $50. Pretty crazy. It was not a good OTS pack if you really think about it too. Like, I mean, you don't even really need to think about it. It's just obvious it's not a good OTS pack because 2 of these cards already have higher rarity printing. And of course they had to semi-limit Fusion Destiny. But I don't know. I'm kind of staying away from buying Ecclesia, the ultimate rare, just because it does have that Starlight rare where the collectors are going to want that. And this is a good mid-range rarity, not being Starlight. I do like ultimate rare the best, I guess. I'll get that out the door first, but I just don't know if many people would go towards this, especially when you've also get just like the prismatic secret rare and the original ultra rare. So I don't know if it'll go much further down than this, maybe 30 to 35 lowest, but I don't really see it going up anytime soon either. If you wanted to like have something that could go up in value long term, it might be the card, but I just think there's better places to put your money in for long-term gains anyways. Fusion Destiny is probably going to be one of those. I think this is a great card to hold long-term just because it's a card that pretty much every hero deck is going to play. Heroes are also, probably the most collectible archetype in the game. I know Blue Eyes and Dark Magician as well, but it seems like all the people with money are elemental hero collectors because I feel like that's what we always see crazy price spikes in, and it's just like ridiculously high, expensive to try to build a deck, especially if you want any kind of decent rarity. But 36 to 40 here for if we're trying to get it for like near mint, really fairly priced. I'll probably have my eye on this card. If it dips any lower, like if I could get a near mint for like 34 or 35, I'll probably get it. But if not, under 40 is probably fine as well. Zeus, I cannot believe is under $50. You do have the Starlight rare and the secret rare, but it just seems crazy that this is, $42 here. And then it does go up to 44 after one sale, but that's still really low. Again, I think this is an okay hold. I just don't think it's going to go up anytime soon either. Unfortunately, that's kind of where the market is right now. Like unless you're picking up a card that's going to see significant meta play and nobody knows about it yet, it's probably not going to go up in value in the short term, especially where we're at with our economies. And Zeus is just not seeing as much play right now. But it definitely will over time. This card's just insane. And everything else there's not really that many good super rares in this set. I will say Contact C, now that these are like 75 cents, I would come pick these up. I highly recommend doing that because this is a really good hand trap, and it had seen a price spike up to like $6 before when I sold a play set, because I bought 2 play sets right when this came out. I think they were going for like $2 each at that time, but now they're even cheaper. Let's see what the cheapest play set is here. I guess while we're waiting for this to load, I will say I have been looking at OTS 19, and it seems like I'm seeing a lot of listings with pictures where it says moderately played or lightly played, and it's got some, scuffing on it or like a little bit of damage. It seems like the print quality was not too good overall in OTS pack 19. So just be careful buying lightly played. It might be like significantly kind of scuffed. I would just go for the near mints because there's not that really big of a difference in price at this point. I did just buy a near mint Water Enchantress ultimate rare last night, so I'm excited for that to come in. I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. I think I bought it for like $65, which I think is just a great price. I don't know that those will move up anytime soon either, but I just really want one. Okay, so you got 2 copies. These sellers are selling 2 for 75 cents each. That's really good. I'm trying to see if there's anybody with like 3 or more. It's so annoying. It won't let me like shift down on this. I hate Macs. 3 or more. Okay, so you got someone here with 75 cents for 3, and then $1 you can get 10. I mean, any one of those is fine. I think underpaying $1 or below is really good, especially long term. Whenever this comes back into the format, this card's going to be really expensive, probably like $8 to $10. Okay, so I guess this is kind of last, but I wanted to take a look at the Amazement archetype, just because I haven't heard anything about it recently, and I kind of wondered what the prices were, because I did buy this archetype right when Lightning Overdrive came out, and I thought it was really good, but it just kind of never really did anything. I think it had a few tops right in the beginning, but it just never ended up kind of sticking around in the format, and it's because it's a really slow deck, so it just has a hard time keeping up. But the ultra rare Amazing Time ticket, I guess it's the promo card, is $4, which I think is pretty good for this card, because I mean, if you've ever been to locals like on Sneak Peek weekend, it's really hard to get these promos. They just don't print a lot of these. So I think that's a fine version to get, but the secret rares are also like $1 right now, which is insane to me. I remember these being 20 bucks. I think I paid 15 for mine. Just crazy to see. I think this version was actually like towards 30. I think we could maybe even look on the price history. I think I do like the secrets better though. The secret looks really, really good, but I'm gonna try to look at the price history here. Yeah, I don't know why the price history isn't going further back than that. We'll look on the secret rare. I don't know what's up with that, but that's not right, because I know it was way more than $8, because the secret rare was way above $8. Okay, let's look at 1 year. Yeah, I mean, July is after release, but it was much more than $12. It was towards 18 to 20. But this is an archetype you might want to look at picking up, especially since it's like dirt cheap right now. I think you can get the whole core for 20 bucks or under, which I always encourage getting these cores, because it just takes the right support to make them good. I would say the version I was playing when it came out was Trap Tricks Amazement, which I thought was really good. You really need to play it with like a trap archetype, or you could probably even get away with playing it in something like Numeron. That would probably actually work decently well, because you don't really need to use a normal summon for this deck, and you don't special summon until your opponent's turn. But the Archelinos are 221. Like again, these are like 20 to 25 bucks on close to release. I think shortly after release. Because I think originally there wasn't that much hype for it until like maybe a couple of days after release. Super cheap for $3. And then like these other monsters are just really cheap too. Attendant is 30 cents. Yeah, I mean, all of these super rares are really cheap. And then this super came out in Dawn of Majesty. I can't remember if this is played or not, but I don't know. But anyways, just something to keep your eye on. Obviously, it probably will be in the 10s this year. So if you wanted to wait till after the 10s and get these for cheaper, that's fine. But I honestly don't know that they'll go a whole lot cheaper than they are now. I just don't see these secret rares being like 10 cents or anything like that, but they'll maybe go down by like $1. But I guess that's going to be all for today. What's today's date? 7th. Okay, so I guess it's going to be 7 days until we announce the winner for the Market Watch contest. So just, I guess, keep your eyes on that, because I will try to release the video the day of. Probably try to make it. It'll probably be at night, because I'll probably have to make it, in the afternoon. But pretty excited to see who's winning. I actually haven't really checked in on it recently, so I guess it's going to be a surprise for me. I'll probably start looking around, I guess, midweek next week to see how things are going. But I think the 14th is like on a Thursday or a Friday. So I guess we'll just see. I think maybe it's a Friday, but I'm not completely sure. But thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.